Hey guys, welcome back to Super Top 10s. Today, we'll talk about the best TV shows produced in 2020. Before we get started, just a quick reminder that there will be tons of spoilers ahead. With that out of the way, let's head into it. Number 7. Lovecraft Country. Set in the 1950s, Lovecraft Country follows the Freemans and the Lewises, two black families from Chicago who find themselves caught up in a centuries-long battle between warring lodges dabbling in the esoteric dark arts. It begins with Korean War vet Atticus Freeman receiving a letter from his father, Montrose, which sets Atticus off on a cross-country rescue mission with childhood friend Letitia Lewis and his uncle George. Atticus soon learns that he is a pawn sought by a secret society patriarch hatching a scheme to become the most powerful wizard in the country. That encounter sets off a quest to discover what's really going on, and the monsters and ghosts Atticus, Letitia, and their families encounter are only a smidge scarier than the segregated reality they live in. A solid mix of Watchmen-style, allegorical world-building, and X-Files Monster of the Week intrigue makes this fantasy series from Misha Green a mind-melting must-see. Number 6. The Queen's Gambit. Netflix. The runaway popularity of The Queen's Gambit, a show about a female chess prodigy who gets really good at outplaying a bunch of boys, is only surprising if you haven't already seen it. Netflix's miniseries, adapted from Walter Tevis's 1983 novel of the same name, is a dark, sexy, intense exploration of the minds of obsessives, addicts, and strategic geniuses, as well as a fascinating foray into the cutthroat world of 20th century professional chess. The journey of Beth Harmon, from precocious orphan to the world-famous master of her craft, is as exhilarating as it is, at times, deeply tragic, turning an unflinching eye on what happens when nurturing a childhood talent becomes feeding an endless desire to win at all costs. Number 5. The Mandalorian. In its second season, The Mandalorian kicked into an even higher gear than the first, which itself was among the most rapturous viewing experiences of 2019. Having accepted the mantle of transporting Grogu, Nee the Child, aka Baby Yoda, back to his own people, whoever and wherever they may be, Mando's mission became clearer, his allies more colorful, and the line between good and evil blurrier with each subsequent episode. The show preserved the brisk, talent-hopping flavor of Season 1, while delving deeper into Star Wars lore without getting too bogged down on its own mythology. An exciting array of guest stars, surprise character appearances, including that super famous one in the Rockets finale, and the delightfully crafted aliens. 2 words: Frog Lady. Kept things fresh while still retaining the essential Star Wars spark. Number 4. Devs. Devs. Shout it out if you love a bonkers yarn involving murder, quantum theory, and Nick Offerman in a villainous beard. Boy, do I have a miniseries for you. This moody, visually stunning techno-thriller, entirely written and directed by Alex Garland, and starring Offerman as a creepy tech CEO, Allison Pill as his chief designer, Sonoya Mizuno as a software designer who investigates the mysterious death of her boyfriend on his first day of work at the secretive company. Fans of Garland's previous work, especially the 2007 Danny Boyle sci-fi horror Sunshine he scripted, will be mesmerized, even as the plot folds in on itself and threatens to venture into Black Mirror territory.
If you came for answers, ask me what you don't know. What is Devs?
Number 3. The Boys Season 2. The Boys, already the savviest show about the state of pop culture, went even darker and harder in its second season. Despite operating in the same genre as Marvel and DC, The Boys is less about saving and more about greedy corporate entities that trade on public fears in order to sell their product. The product in this case being superheroes. This batch of episodes introduced her the worst Aya Cash as a no-bullshit feminist using the language of women's rights for her own evil aims. A narrative, not just there for shock value, it gets to the root of something genuinely insidious in the entertainment industry.
Hey Gary, I really need to talk to you about
Later,
something.
kid.
Okay, cool.
Number 2. The Haunting of Bly Manor. The Haunting of Hill House, horror author Michael Flanagan's well-regarded 2018 Netflix miniseries unearthed the roots of a family's trauma using the very spirits that haunted them as children in a mansion that was like flypaper for people's souls. Compared to that season, the second installment of what has become an anthology show with many of the same actors playing unconnected characters is barely frightening at all. But that's far from a criticism. There are plenty of ghosts in Bly Manor, based on Henry James' gothic mystery novel The Turn of the Screw, in which a governess comes to believe that her 2 young charges are being possessed by the ghosts of 2 lovers who had died on the grounds before she arrived. But this show spends less time on crafting its very effective scares and more on exploring what force could possibly be powerful enough to turn a dead person into a ghost. Death is a tragedy, a soul unable to move on, even more so. Number 1. Dark. In the final season of Netflix's German-language sci-fi brainbuster, the forces of good and evil, vying for control of the very nature of time itself in the past, present, and future of Winden went further along their possibility unending temporal loop that we now know also spans a parallel universe. Jonas, having been rescued by Aunt Martha in the second season finale, is more determined than ever to stop the villainous Adam and return things to normal. But undoing a knot that has held Windham in balance for 5 generations requires a sacrifice, resulting in one of the most shocking and emotional conclusions to a TV show. Dark is hands down one of the best TV shows ever made, and that's why we are putting it on number 1. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it, hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.